There, David here once again, coming at you with Be in Crypto. Today, we're going to be talking about the world of Bitcoin mixers, also known as Tumblers. Basically, if you know a thing or two about blockchain, you know that it isn't actually very anonymous at all. This means Bitcoin transactions, in fact, can pose a major risk to your financial privacy. Bitcoin mixers aim to fix this through a variety of means by obscuring the history through which your assets have traveled. By the end of this video, we'll explain what a mixer is, as well as cover 8 options that are available to you today. While many of the features between them are the same, we'll touch on what aspects make each one unique. Also, know there are, as always, even more options out there than we can cover here today, so don't be afraid to get out there and do some of your own research. Oh, and of course, there will be links in the description to the services we cover. Okay, let's not waste another minute and jump into the world of Bitcoin mixers. First, before we get into the best services available, let's talk about what Bitcoin mixers are and why you might want to use one. You probably already understand that a blockchain is an immutable ledger. This is part of what makes it so attractive. Often, people misconstrue the idea that Bitcoin is anonymous because all transactions are only linked to a cryptographic address. This would be true if there was no way to connect that address to a person, but realistically, there usually is. If your Bitcoin was obtained through any type of exchange with know your customer requirements, then linking it to you is trivial, even if you move it multiple times. Maybe you use something more private, like a peer-to-peer exchange, but your IP address and other metadata can give you away unless you went to the lengths of obscuring that info too. The point is, Bitcoin is actually fairly traceable, unless specific steps are taken to blur its history. This is where Bitcoin mixers come into play. Mixers can work in different ways, but the general idea is that you trade your Bitcoin with its explicit history for other Bitcoin with no connection to you. Basically, this makes your Bitcoin trail disappear. Observers may see that your Bitcoin went into a mixer, but after that, the nature of your funds becomes completely anonymous. Why do this? Well, there are a variety of reasons. One of the most obvious is, of course, to aid in moving and hiding criminal funds. At this point, we must emphasize that this video is for educational purposes only. However, we also want to educate people that there are non-criminal uses for this as well. Mixing your Bitcoin is not itself illegal, but if you're doing it to evade law enforcement, that's a different story. Just to be clear, we in no way condone criminal activity, money laundering, or tax evasion of any kind. The main reason someone might want to do this, for non-nefarious motivations, is personal privacy. Many people simply don't want their business clearly outlined on the blockchain, and they have that right. You don't have to be doing anything wrong to want privacy, and Bitcoin mixers can provide exactly that. Okay, we've outlined the basic use case, but before we jump into the platforms, we just want to make it clear that while we believe all of these services to be legit, always go slow and do your own research before sending anyone your hard-earned cryptocurrency. That goes for the platforms we outline here, as well as any others you find yourself. Okay, with all that out of the way, let's take a look at some of the top Bitcoin mixing services available in 2021. Let's start our list off today with Blender.io. Blender is a highly popular option that is generally very easy to use and offers nice features to enhance anonymity. All you need to do is input the address you want to receive your clean Bitcoin at and pay a small service fee. Users can both put a delay on the transaction as well as vary the fee to further obscure that this is a Bitcoin mixing event. After using the service once, a unique mixing code is generated, which can be entered on subsequent uses to ensure none of your original coins ever get mixed back into your outputs. Additional security features include a letter of guarantee with each transaction that all addresses are generated by the service itself, as well as a non-data retention policy that sees all information associated with a given transaction completely deleted after 24 hours. If that isn't enough, additional privacy can be gained by accessing the service through a Tor-enabled browser. As you can see, there are many protocols in place to protect users, and in fact, we'll see similar features offered in many of the other mixers we cover today. Next on our list, we have ChipMixer. In a nutshell, ChipMixer offers the same basic premise of tumbling your Bitcoins, but it does so in a fairly novel way. It uses pre-funded wallets that come in discrete amounts known as chips. These chips then range from 0.01 Bitcoin all the way up to 8.192 Bitcoin. Essentially, you deposit your Bitcoin and you receive an equal amount of chips in return. These of course have no connection to you and are therefore completely anonymous. ChipMixer also has a unique fee structure. That is, instead of fees, it uses a system of donations. Donations serve multiple purposes. For one, it still earns fees for the platform, it simply doesn't impose a specific amount on its users. For the user, donations allow for them to add a random amount of Bitcoin onto whatever they're tumbling, further obscuring their transaction history. In this way, it's a win-win that customers have an incentive to use, but are not forced to pay a specific amount. The uniqueness of this system has ensured that ChipMixer remains a fairly popular option for many Bitcoin users. Now let's turn to FoxMixer. And by the way, yes, many of the services out there use the word mixer in their name, so get used to that. FoxMixer is a fairly streamlined service that's been around for years and hence has a degree of trust in the community. Again, you can adjust the delay and use mix codes to guarantee you won't receive the same coins. Simple, straightforward, and effective, and again use Tor for added privacy. Other than that, there isn't too much to say. Next, there's UltraMixer. Again, expect the same basic array of features for this service as well. However, one thing that sets UltraMixer apart is that it positions itself as a high-volume mixer. Basically, this means it can handle mixes of up to 200 bitcoins. There are different maximum levels for every service, but it's true most don't allow for transactions this large. If you're looking to wash a significant amount of Bitcoin, then high-volume options like UltraMixer might be your best shot. Let's turn now to SmartMixer. One of the things that makes SmartMixer unique on our list is that it offers mixing for Bitcoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and soon Ethereum. While there are certainly mixers for all these and other coins, it's nice to see support for multiple assets from one single service. Other than that, SmartMixer offers flat, low fees of just 0.5% per transaction and 0.0001 Bitcoin per output address. Again, fairly standard, but the low fees and multiple asset support might make this mixer a bit more attractive to some users. Anonymix is our next platform, and here again we have a high-capacity mixing service. Not as high as UltraMixer, but Anonymix still allows upwards of 180 bitcoins in a single tumble. Otherwise, pretty much standard fare of features as well as pretty reasonable fees. There's also a fun bonus where every time you mix, you're entered into a raffle for a chance to earn free Bitcoin, something that the rest of these offerings lack. Moving on, we have CryptoMixer. CryptoMixer, in existence since 2016, offers a platform built with community input, top-notch features, and again, high-capacity mixing. The exact maximum size for the platform is not stated, as apparently it depends on their reserves and traffic at the time, but numbers upwards of 2,000 Bitcoin are mentioned on the site. Basically, if you are one of these high-end customers, contact the service for specifics. Overall, CryptoMixer just has a nice degree of polish, but ultimately for most users expect a similar experience to the other options on this list. Rounding out our list, we have a website creatively called Bitcoin Mixer Tumbler. Actually, it refers to itself as a Bitcoin Mixer, Tumbler, or both on its website, but seeing as the terms are basically interchangeable, we'll overlook this confusing nomenclature to point out that the site offers a pretty straightforward and streamlined mixing platform. The only real control a user has, besides how much they're mixing, is the custom delay that can be set to increase anonymity. The fees are randomly put between 2 and 5%, so unlike other services, there's no option to set it yourself, but it does help with privacy. Other than that, it seems to be a pretty clean-cut solution for mixing your coins. Before we go, we just wanted to mention a couple of other options for anonymizing your crypto, if mixers don't really seem like your thing. For one, certain Bitcoin wallets like Wasabi and Samurai offer what's known as a coin join feature. In a nutshell, it batches several transactions together in a way that makes it virtually impossible to tell who sent Bitcoin to what address. This offers a pretty similar result to mixing your coins and can be handled without involving a third party, just by utilizing these wallets or other coin join options. Also, we should mention you can potentially use privacy coins like Monero to increase your anonymity. You could, for one, just keep your portfolio in these assets, though this could hurt your exposure. You could also use Monero or a similar asset to wash your Bitcoin yourself. Simply convert Bitcoin to Monero, transfer it between addresses, and convert it back. Since Monero transactions are completely anonymous, the Bitcoin on the other end should be too. Admittedly, there are some issues with this idea as well. For one, you'll need to exchange your Bitcoin for Monero off of major exchanges. Many platforms don't support Monero anymore anyway, but in any event, if the transactions happen on an exchange with your credentials, any privacy benefits are completely gone. This means you'll likely need to do these exchanges in a peer-to-peer fashion, but how to do that effectively is outside of the scope of this video. By the way, before you can mix your Bitcoin, you're going to need to get some first. If that's the case for you, why not consider getting it on the Stormgain cryptocurrency exchange? Stormgain is not only one of the hottest up-and-coming exchanges out there, it also offers several valuable perks such as a loyalty program, bonuses for referrals, annual interest on crypto deposits, and using the official app, you can even begin cloud mining cryptocurrency for free today. If you're looking to get Bitcoin, Ethereum, stablecoins, or an array of other assets, just know that Stormgain offers a little bit more than other exchanges, so be sure to check them out. Okay, that'll once again bring us to the end. Hopefully we've given you some good information to go and explore Bitcoin mixers for yourself. Know that while we did do research on every entry we mentioned today, we obviously didn't try them all for ourselves, so be sure to do your own homework before using any of these platforms or any of the other offerings available out there. Furthermore, as we all know, there's changes happening all the time in the world of cryptocurrency, and you're going to want to keep up. So why not check us out at beingcrypto.com, where you'll find daily updates, analysis, and more. Also, don't forget about our other content right here on YouTube, such as interviews, educational videos, and our bi-weekly news show. And lastly, if trading is your thing, then come join our trading community on Telegram, where you'll get access to the latest technical analysis from our top traders. And as I always say, thanks to each and every one of you for watching. We'll see you right back here again real soon.